Nine American car brands are hemorrhaging billions while executives pretend everything is fine. You've been told these discounts are normal market adjustments. The truth is devastating. These companies are slashing prices by unprecedented amounts because survival depends on moving metal before financial reality catches up. Dealerships that marked up vehicles are now practically giving away inventory. Manufacturers that convinced you to pay more are running fire sales like bankrupt stores. I'm exposing which nine American brands are in freefall, why their desperate pricing reveals terminal problems, and what this means for anyone buying in the next 12 months. If you want to see which iconic brand is secretly planning its funeral, subscribe now because what I'm revealing will fundamentally change how you see the American auto industry. Stick until number one, because that brand is already negotiating with bankruptcy attorneys. Number 9, Dodge. The muscle car fantasy is dying, and Dodge is dying with it. For decades, Dodge built its identity on horsepower, Hellcats, and a middle finger to fuel economy. That strategy worked when gas was cheap and regulations loose. Today, it's a suicide pact. The regulatory nightmare forced Dodge to discontinue its most iconic models. Challenger production ended, the Charger is gone, the entire muscle car lineup has been euthanized to meet emission standards Dodge ignored too long. What remains is a confused brand with no identity beyond nostalgia for products it can no longer legally manufacture. Walk into a Dodge dealership and witness the inventory crisis. Dealers sit on mountains of Durangos and Hornets nobody wants. The Hornet has been such a catastrophic failure, some dealers refuse to stock it. Industry tracking shows Hornets sitting on lots for 120 days, an eternity signaling consumers have completely rejected this desperate attempt at relevance. The financial consequences are brutal. Dodge offers incentives unthinkable 3 years ago. 20% off MSRP has become standard. Some dealers advertise employee pricing combined with rebates pushing total discounts past $12,000 on Durangos. These aren't sales. They're liquidations. The electric transition disaster unfolds in real time. The electric Charger Daytona was supposed to save Dodge's performance credentials. Instead, it's become a punchline. Muscle car enthusiasts mock its artificial engine sound. EV advocates dismiss it as a gimmick from a company with zero electrification credibility. Caught between two worlds and welcomed by neither, the electric Charger perfectly symbolizes Dodge's impossible position. Without gasoline heritage and lacking authentic EV expertise, Dodge has become a brand without a reason to exist. Number 8, Lincoln. Lincoln's quiet decline is watching someone fade in slow motion. This isn't dramatic collapse with spectacular failures. This is worse, irrelevance so complete that most consumers under 50 don't even consider Lincoln when shopping luxury vehicles. The nameplate that once represented American prestige pinnacle now represents nothing to generations determining automotive futures. The dealership experience gap has become a chasm. While Lexus and Mercedes invest billions in destination showrooms, Lincoln dealers are often shared spaces with Ford, undermining luxury exclusivity. Customers shopping $70,000 vehicles don't want to purchase next to someone buying a $25,000 Escape. This destroys the psychological separation luxury branding requires. Product differentiation failure has reached crisis levels. The Nautilus is barely distinguishable from the Ford Edge. The Aviator offers marginally more refinement than the Explorer for significantly more money. In every segment Lincoln competes, there are better alternatives from brands with stronger luxury credentials. Consumer awareness research reveals the crisis depth. Among luxury shoppers under 40, Lincoln registers barely above zero consideration. This isn't a pricing or product problem. This is an existential relevance problem that cannot be solved with incentives or marketing. The resale value disaster makes every financial calculation worse. 3-year-old Lincolns depreciate 15 to 20% higher than comparable German luxury vehicles. Current Lincoln owners are financially punished for their brand choice, a reality spreading through forums and social media, deterring future customers. Parent company Ford has signaled its priorities, and Lincoln clearly isn't among them. Investment in EV technology and software flows to Ford products, while Lincoln subsists on platform sharing and badge engineering. When a company chooses not to invest in a brand, it's making a statement about that brand's future, or lack thereof. Number 7. Ram. The truck wars are bloody, and Ram is losing ground it cannot afford. For years, Ram competed successfully, offering more luxury and better ride quality. That worked when the market was growing. Today, with contraction and intensifying competition, Ram's weaknesses are becoming fatal liabilities no amount of chrome can hide. Market share erosion accelerates alarmingly. Ram's full-size pickup segment slice has declined 3 consecutive years. Industry data shows Ram losing approximately 2 percentage points annually, representing tens of thousands of lost sales and hundreds of millions in lost revenue. In the cutthroat truck market where volume determines profitability, these losses create a death spiral. Quality perception problems undermine Ram's premium positioning. Reliability studies consistently rank Ram below domestic competitors, citing electrical issues, transmission problems, and premature failures. The brand positioning itself as premium American truck now suffers from reliability reputation worse than mainstream competitors. This forces larger incentives to overcome buyer skepticism, further eroding the premium image Ram spent billions building. Ram now offers discounts matching or exceeding rivals despite positioning as the luxury truck option. Incentives averaging $8,000 to $10,000 per vehicle are standard. Some dealers advertise total savings exceeding $15,000. These massive price cuts reveal Ram's luxury truck strategy has failed. Consumers won't pay premium prices for trucks with below-average reliability, regardless of interior materials. The electric truck disaster looming could be the final blow. The Ram 1500 REV has faced delay after delay, allowing competitors to establish strong first-mover advantages. By the time Ram delivers an electric truck at scale, Ford and Chevrolet will have multiple model years of advantages nearly impossible to overcome. The inventory nightmare visible at dealerships tells the real story. Lots are packed with unsold trucks representing hundreds of millions in depreciating assets. Some dealers report 5 to 6 months inventory, double the healthy level. This inventory glut forces aggressive discounting that trains consumers to wait for deals, further depressing transaction prices and profitability. Ram is trapped in a vicious cycle where overproduction leads to discounting, which trains customers to expect discounts, which requires more aggressive incentives, which reduces profitability, which limits product development investment, which makes the brand less competitive. Number 6, GMC. The professional grade promise has become a professional grade problem. GMC was created to offer slightly more upscale trucks than Chevrolet while remaining more accessible than Cadillac. This narrow positioning worked when markets grew. Today, informed buyers ask the obvious question: why pay more for a GMC when a comparably equipped Chevrolet offers identical capability? Or why not spend slightly more for a real luxury brand? GMC has no good answer, and sales data shows consumers reaching the same conclusion. Product redundancy has reached farcical proportions. The GMC Sierra and Chevrolet Silverado are virtually identical trucks built on same platforms in same factories with same powertrains. The Terrain is a slightly restyled Equinox. At every price point, GMC competes directly with corporate siblings while offering minimal differentiation beyond badge and grille design. Luxury positioning failure erodes whatever justification GMC had for existing. The Denali sub-brand was supposed to elevate GMC into near-luxury territory. In practice, Denali trim levels are just expensive option packages savvy consumers recognize as overpriced leather and chrome. True luxury buyers shop German or Japanese brands. Value-conscious buyers choose Chevrolet and save thousands. GMC's Denali strategy created a no-man's land satisfying neither luxury nor value shoppers. Most GMC dealers also sell Buick, and many are co-located with Chevrolet dealerships, creating scenarios where customers directly compare alternatives side by side. This transparency reveals how little differentiation exists, making GMC premium pricing impossible to justify. Sales consultants struggle to articulate why customers should choose a GMC Sierra over a mechanically identical Silverado costing $3,000 less. Market analysts openly question GMC's long-term viability. As General Motors faces pressure to streamline operations and focus resources on EV development, maintaining separate engineering, marketing, and retail operations for badge-engineered Chevrolet becomes increasingly difficult to justify. The incentive escalation reveals how desperate the situation has become. Discounts once exclusive to Chevrolet now match or exceed GMC's offers. Combined incentives regularly reach $10,000 or more. When a supposedly premium brand requires mainstream discounts to move inventory, the premium positioning has clearly failed. Number 5. Jeep. The crisis has accelerated beyond what anyone predicted. The legendary off-road brand faces an existential disaster threatening survival despite the Wrangler's iconic status. What changed is financial performance has deteriorated far faster than analysts expected, and parent company Stellantis is running out of patience. The quality crisis has reached catastrophic proportions no marketing can overcome. Jeep now ranks dead last in virtually every major reliability study. Customer satisfaction scores have plummeted to levels typically preceding brand extinction. Online forums overflow with horror stories of new Jeeps spending more time at dealerships than in owners' driveways. This is systemic failure across multiple model lines, suggesting fundamental problems Stellantis seems unable or unwilling to fix. Financial losses at brand level mount unsustainably. Analysts estimate Jeep's North American operations now lose money on an operating basis after accounting for warranty costs, incentive spending, and reduced transaction prices. The brand supposed to be Stellantis's profit engine has become a cash furnace, consuming billions while delivering deteriorating results. The pricing collapse has accelerated into panic territory. Jeeps that commanded premiums 2 years ago now require discounts exceeding 15%. The Grand Cherokee regularly sells with total incentives exceeding $8,000. The Compass and Renegade are practically given away with discounts approaching 20%. This isn't strategic pricing. This is a brand in terminal decline, desperately trying to maintain volume while profitability evaporates. Dealer defections have begun as franchise owners lose confidence. Multiple dealers in major markets have terminated Jeep franchises, citing unsustainable losses from warranty repairs, aged inventory, and collapsed customer confidence. When dealers who invested millions choose to walk away, it signals sophisticated business operators have concluded the brand has no viable path forward. The Stellantis merger consequences are devastating. The corporate parent prioritizes European brands while treating Jeep as a cash source. Investment in new product development has slowed. Quality improvement initiatives receive insufficient resources. Perhaps most ominous are persistent rumors of potential brand sale discussions. Multiple publications report Stellantis executives have explored contingency plans, including selling Jeep to Chinese automakers or private equity firms. While officially denied, these rumors persist because they make strategic sense. Number 4. Chrysler. The single-model experiment has failed, and everyone knows it except apparently Stellantis executives still pretending this is sustainable. Chrysler has been reduced to a single minivan, the Pacifica, and even that struggles with quality issues, declining sales, and uncertain future as the minivan segment continues long-term contraction. This historic American brand once competed across multiple segments now waits for corporate leadership to acknowledge what everyone knows. Chrysler is effectively dead. The dealer network disintegrates faster than expected. Franchise agreements expire, and dealers choose not to renew when their only product is a minivan in a dying segment. Standalone Chrysler dealerships have virtually disappeared. Remaining dealers are consolidated facilities where Chrysler occupies forgotten showroom corners. When dealers don't want your franchise even for free, the brand has zero value. Product development has essentially ceased beyond minor refreshes. No new Chrysler models are in the visible pipeline. The promised electric transformation was quietly shelved with no explanation. Stellantis isn't investing in Chrysler's future because Stellantis doesn't believe Chrysler has a future. The Pacifica itself experiences accelerating decline. Sales have dropped 3 consecutive years as families increasingly choose three-row crossovers. Quality issues plague recent model years, particularly the plug-in hybrid system. Consumer Reports downgraded its reliability rating. Financial analysts openly discuss brand termination scenarios with increasing frequency. The question is no longer if Stellantis will kill Chrysler, but when and how. Will it be a formal announcement or a slow fade where production simply stops without ceremony? These discussions happen publicly because the outcome seems inevitable. The historical significance makes Chrysler's collapse particularly painful. This brand pioneered the minivan segment and represented American automotive ingenuity for generations. Today, it's a zombie brand maintained on life support. Stellantis' refusal to either invest properly or announce termination is corporate cowardice serving no stakeholder. Number 3, Buick. The Chinese market dependency has become Buick's only reason for existence, and that foundation shows cracks. In the United States, Buick is a punchline, a brand associated with retirement communities. The average buyer age exceeds 60, and younger consumers display zero interest. Buick's American operations lose money subsidized by Chinese profits, but that cross-Pacific subsidy model is becoming unsustainable. The generational extinction event accelerates. Buick's customer base is literally dying, and no younger buyers are replacing them. Market research shows consideration rates among buyers under 40 in low single digits. Brand awareness among Generation Z barely registers above 0. When shown Buick vehicles without badges, young consumers cannot identify the brand and show no interest once told. This isn't a marketing problem. This is brand death through demographic inevitability. Product line confusion has reached absurd levels. Buick sells rebadged vehicles sharing platforms with Chevrolet models costing thousands less. The Envision is a mechanical twin to the Chevy Equinox. Buick adds slightly upgraded interiors, then charges a premium value conscious buyers reject. General Motors has signaled its priorities, and Buick isn't among them. Investment in Buick's American product line has essentially stopped. Vehicles sold in U.S. dealerships are often Chinese market designs adapted for American regulations. The dealer network slowly implodes. Dealers aren't renewing franchise agreements. Standalone Buick dealerships have effectively disappeared, replaced by combined GMC Buick stores where Buick products are afterthoughts. Most damning is the Chinese market risk that could eliminate Buick's only remaining justification. Buick's sales in China have begun declining as domestic Chinese brands offer better technology, lower prices, and nationalistic appeal. If Chinese sales deteriorate significantly, General Motors loses the financial justification for maintaining Buick globally. The brand would become purely a cost center, a situation forcing immediate termination. Buick's survival depends entirely on maintaining success in a single foreign market where it faces intensifying competition and geopolitical risk. This isn't sustainable. This is borrowed time. Number 2, Lincoln, again, because the death spiral has accelerated into terminal velocity. What was concerning 6 months ago is now irreversible collapse that Ford is trying to hide while preparing exit strategies. Lincoln isn't struggling. Lincoln is dying in real time, and the only question is whether Ford will announce the brand's termination or continue the cruel charade. The sales freefall has reached crisis proportions. Lincoln's monthly sales are frequently below 10,000 units nationwide, barely registering as a rounding error. This volume cannot support standalone luxury brand infrastructure. Fixed costs require minimum sales volumes. Lincoln is falling further below each quarter. Inventory levels have reached apocalyptic proportions. Some stores report 9 months inventory, millions in aged assets depreciating daily. This inventory glut forces discounting so aggressive it destroys any luxury positioning pretense. When customers negotiate $15,000 off luxury SUVs, luxury positioning is irretrievably damaged. Ford's electric vehicle strategy has completely abandoned Lincoln despite earlier promises. The initial plan called for Lincoln to lead Ford's luxury electrification efforts. That strategy was quietly killed. Now Lincoln will maybe get badge-engineered versions of Ford electric vehicles, the same failed formula that hasn't worked with gasoline products. The dealer network is in open rebellion. Franchise owners who invested millions feel betrayed by Ford's abandonment. Some dealers are filing lawsuits. Others simply refuse to participate in required programs. Brand equity research shows Lincoln's value has essentially evaporated. The brand name itself now has negative value due to association with failure and obsolescence. If Ford discontinued Lincoln tomorrow, there would be no buyer for the brand name. Industry insiders report Ford executives have already begun contingency planning for Lincoln's termination. The discussions have moved from if to when and how. These logistics are being planned because Lincoln's end is no longer hypothetical, but inevitable and imminent. Number 1, Cadillac. America's most iconic luxury brand is imploding, and the electric vehicle gamble supposed to save it is instead accelerating its demise. Cadillac has survived depressions, wars, oil crises, and bankruptcy. Today, it faces an existential threat more serious than anything in its long history because leadership bet the entire brand on a strategy failing in real time while alienating the only customers who still cared. The electric transition disaster is reaching catastrophic proportions. Cadillac committed to full electrification faster than any other luxury brand, planning to discontinue all gasoline models by decade's end. This all-in bet required that EV adoption would accelerate rapidly, charging infrastructure would improve dramatically, and consumers would embrace the transition eagerly. Every assumption is proving wrong, and Cadillac is now trapped in a strategic position, destroying the brand regardless of execution quality. Current customer abandonment happens faster than new customer acquisition. Traditional Cadillac owners overwhelmingly reject electric vehicles and are defecting to competitors offering gasoline options. Meanwhile, EV buyers that Cadillac needs are shopping Tesla, German luxury brands, or Asian alternatives with stronger technology credentials. Cadillac hemorrhages existing customers while failing to attract replacements. The dealer network civil war has erupted into open warfare. Cadillac demanded dealers invest millions in facility upgrades, charging infrastructure and service equipment. Hundreds declined and terminated franchises rather than make investments they considered unrecoverable. Remaining dealers are furious about slow product delivery, inadequate corporate support, and sales volumes, making their investments look like financial disasters. Product delays continue plaguing Cadillac's electric rollout. The Celestiq, a $200,000 ultra-luxury electric sedan, has faced production delays and limited volume, making it effectively irrelevant. The Escalade IQ keeps getting pushed back. Cadillac's product cadence has become a joke in the industry. Financial losses at Cadillac are now measured in billions annually. The combination of low sales volumes, high development costs, expensive dealer buyouts, and massive incentives has created a financial catastrophe. As GM faces pressure to deliver profitability, continuing to subsidize Cadillac's losses becomes increasingly difficult to justify. Most devastating is brand value destruction happening in real time. Cadillac's brand equity, built over more than a century, is evaporating. Resale values collapse faster than any luxury competitor. The Cadillac name, once synonymous with American luxury and success, now represents confusion, failure, and obsolescence. This brand damage may be permanent. The Chinese market offers no salvation, unlike Buick. Cadillac never achieved significant success in China. The cross-subsidy model that keeps Buick alive doesn't exist for Cadillac. The brand must succeed in North America or cease to exist. Strategic alternatives are being evaluated, and none are encouraging. Industry insiders suggest managed termination is increasingly likely. The real tragedy is that Cadillac's collapse is entirely self-inflicted. The brand had genuine strengths, loyal customers, and viable market position. Leadership chose to abandon all that, pursuing an electric vehicle strategy that was too aggressive, too risky, and too poorly executed. They alienated existing customers before securing new ones. They demanded dealer investments without delivering products justifying those investments. They bet a century-old brand on a single strategy with no contingency planning. Now Cadillac pays the price for leadership hubris, arrogance, and incompetence. America's most famous luxury brand is circling the drain, and the people responsible will face no consequences while thousands of workers, dealers, and loyal customers suffer the fallout. So there you have it. 9 American automotive brands in terminal decline, collapsing under bad decisions, changing markets, and corporate neglect. What this exposes is that heritage means nothing when leadership fails. Brand loyalty evaporates when quality disappears. And no amount of discounting can save a company that's lost its reason to exist. These brands are slashing prices like crazy, not because they're generous, but because they're desperate. They're fighting for survival, and most are losing. The American automotive industry that dominated globally for a century is cannibalizing itself while pretending everything's fine. Which brand do you think will be first to officially announce closure? Drop your predictions in the comments. Smash that like button so this message reaches people before they make buying mistakes they'll regret. And subscribe because the automotive apocalypse is just getting started, and I'll be here covering every brutal moment.